Nobody knew a lot about this snake species, therefore I didn't try to acquire it because I don't keep animals I don't know about. I try to educate myself as much as possible in that species so they can live their best life in captivity as possible. So, months later, I did a lot of research. Turns out this is one of the most badass snakes in the family of the king brown. No, this is not a taipan. This is what's called a Papuan black snake. Now, what's really interesting about this species is, one, it's not even full grown. They can actually get upwards to 6 feet long. What's really interesting about this species is that it is a part of the red-bellied black snake family, which contains collet snake, like meatball, king browns, pygmy king browns. And what makes it so different from the rest of its family is, in fact, that this snake, out of all of its family members, even including the king brown, this is the most potent snake in the Pseudechis family, drop for drop, when it comes to its venom. What's really interesting, he's got those beautiful whites right underneath his chin, giving him such a unique look. First glance, if you're from North America, you might think it's a black racer, but if you're in Papua New Guinea, you better run, because you don't want to play with this snake. This is not the animal you want to get tangled with when hanging out in a foreign place like Papua New Guinea. The reason I picked up this snake, oh, you're hissing. A lot of Aussie snakes and Papuan snakes, they'll actually gape their mouth open and hiss. So they're very defensive, and they'll let you know when they're not messing around, because even though he's a lapid, he doesn't have that hood like a true cobra, so he can only flatten out a little bit of his neck, showing off a little threat display. So otherwise, he's got to make some noise to let everyone know he does not want to be messed with. Guys, I'm reviewing the episode that we're putting up today that you're going to see in this episode of when we put the tripod up with the camera and watch the crocs hatch. And it's so awesome to see this. I love crocodiles so much. To be able to see American crocodiles slowly hatch out and bust out their eggs. Such prehistoric looking at. Look at this. We got footage of almost all of them busting out the eggs. I love crocodiles so much, so to be able to share this stuff with you guys really means a lot to me, and I hope I can get more footage like this in the future. But you can watch that episode later. We got stuff to do today. So, what's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to my wildlife. I'm here in my private little room. This is my couch bed where I hang out and do couch bed stuff. And I have a new snake that I brought into the collection. I told a lot of you guys that I wouldn't be getting new stuff for a while, especially with the whole quarantine thing going on. But this snake has been sitting at a facility for months. They weren't able to sell it to anyone else. It belongs to a good friend of mine, Ryan Gitman, who owns Underground Reptiles. And in his private venomous room where he sells to other private keepers, he's had this snake for quite a while. So dangerous that nobody's wanted it, and many people don't know really much about it. I found out about this snake about a couple months ago when I was picking up my collet snake, because my collet snake came from the same collection as the person keeping the snake I picked up a couple days ago. Let me show you in a second. Nobody knew a lot about this snake species, therefore I didn't try to acquire it because I don't keep animals I don't know about. I try to educate myself as much as possible in that species so they can live their best life in captivity as possible. So months later, I did a lot of research. Turns out this is one of the most badass snakes in the family of the king brown. We're going to get to it in a second, so I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, beautiful people, come close. Right in here you can see the adorable little face of an old black snake. Now this snake just got here a day or so ago, therefore I don't have any labeling on the enclosure. Alright guys, this snake in here is very interesting, not just because of where it comes from, but how potent it actually is. Now this snake is really fast, so I've got to make sure I'm really quick when handling it, because he belongs to the same family as the king brown, dwarf king browns, red-bellied black snakes, a very potent group of snakes. And I'm going to see if I can get him out real quick. Oh, here it is. Got to be very careful with this guy. I'm using the hook to get him out of the enclosure at first. I do not want to reach in there. There we go, look at this. No, this is not a taipan. This is what's called a Papuan black snake. Now what's really interesting about this species is, one, it's not even full grown. They can actually get upwards to 6 feet long. What's really interesting about this species is that it is a part of the red-bellied black snake family, which contains collet snake, like meatball, king browns, pygmy king browns. And what makes it so different from the rest of its family is, in fact, that this snake, out of all of its family members, even including the king brown, this is the most potent snake in the Pseudechis family, drop for drop, when it comes to its venom, the Papuan black snake. Now this snake's only a couple years old. Like I said, it can get upwards to 6 feet long. It isn't a lapid, so it does possess front fixed fangs and a very potent venom. Its venom, if untreated, the lethality is anywhere from 40 to 50%. Envenomation when getting bit, 50 to 60% of the time they will envenomate. So this is not a snake you would want to get bit by. It is no joke. Now, if I were to get bit by this snake, the anti-venom I would use would be black snake anti-venom. And if that didn't work, the next resort would have to be using tiger snake anti-venom, which is different. Now, let me see if we can calm down, relax, so he's not too twitchy. Because as you can see, it's a very active snake, very twitchy snake, and you do not want to get a bite off this beautiful little guy. If you get a nice close look at his face, you notice that he looks so much like a red-bellied black snake or a king brown or something like that. Look at his head. It's like coffin-shaped. What's really interesting, he's got those beautiful whites right underneath his chin, giving him such a unique look. First glance, if you're from North America, you might think it's a black racer, but if you're in Papua New Guinea, you better run, because you don't want to play with this snake. This is not the animal you want to get tangled with when hanging out in a foreign place like Papua New Guinea. Speaking of Papua New Guinea, I have a good friend who's been there a whole bunch, him and his family, and hopefully in the near future I'll be going to Papua New Guinea to go look for native species after all this coronavirus stuff is over. I would be super excited to actually find a Papuan black snake out in the wild in its own environment, let alone Papuan taipans and meeting the native people of Papua New Guinea. There's so many cool tribes out there I could meet, like the Crocodile tribe, known cannibals, all kinds of crazy. So, like I said, he can get upwards to 6 feet long. He's a beast of a snake, and I thought you guys would get a kick out of him. The reason I picked up this snake, oh, hear him hissing. A lot of Aussie snakes and Papuan snakes, they'll actually gape their mouth open and hiss. So they're very defensive, and they'll let you know when they're not messing around, because even though he's a lapid, he doesn't have that hood like a true cobra, so he can only flatten out a little bit of his neck, showing off a little threat display. So otherwise, he's got to make some noise to let everyone know he does not want to be messed with. Now, this animal was at Underground Reptiles for months. Like I said, nobody really knew about it. Nobody was really into handling this kind of snake because of how wiry it can be. But for me, you guys know I love these types of snakes. I just waited to educate myself a little bit more before getting such a deadly snake. Like I said, this is the most potent snake in the Pseudechis family, drop for drop. The family of king browns, collet snakes, red-bellied blacks, and the king of them all, apparently it's not the king brown, it's the Papuan black snake. So I'm going to put him back into his enclosure, let him be. This is a quarantine setup. Notice it's just a water bowl, a little hefty box that's empty in there from the hide in, and paper towel, because simply I got to keep an eye on this guy and make sure he's nice and healthy. Look at him. Look at him. He's so crazy. He looks at you, gapes his mouth, he hisses. Look at him. Such a good snake. I can't wait for this animal to be around 5-6 feet long. It's going to get a little darker looking, badass, almost solid black snake. Such a respected venom inside those fangs. It is so incredible to think that that is the most potent member of the Pseudechis family. Such a badass snake. Look, he's super wiry, he's all over the place. Awesome display animal for the future of the Serpentarium. Can't wait for you guys to see him up close in person. Such a badass, unique species. You don't see these outside of Papua New Guinea too often. There are other people out there in the world who have them in captive collections, but in America, this might be one of the only Papuan black snakes in all of the U.S. Pseudechis papuanensis. Badass snake from Papua New Guinea. Lots of future trips to plan to go out to Papua New Guinea. There's a tribe out there that worships crocodiles. And by worshiping crocodiles, so that their enemies know that they're powerful, and for them to fear them, they actually get cuts. As a ritual to become a man, they get cuts all over their back and their chest. And then when the cuts heal, it looks like the bumps, the osteoderms of a crocodile. So there's a tribe out there that worships crocodiles, and they inflict wounds all over their back and the front of their chest to appear like a crocodile. I love crocodiles, and people that worship crocodiles, those are my kind of people. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you on the next one. Stay safe, stay beautiful, stay gangster, wash your hands. Papuan spiciness. You can hear him hissing at me. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one. Stay beautiful, stay safe, stay gangster, wash your damn hands.